this is Francis with 4Boxing News. I'm here with Joe. We're here to talk about Hitz Boxing's fight night at the Horseshoe Casino in Hammond, Indiana. The card featured 7 fights with fighters from the Chicagoland and Milwaukee area. Let's get right into it.
The first fight featured Michael Perez versus Shondell Winters in a battle of cruiserweights. Both fighters were making their pro debut. Winters had a lot of family and friends there. They were loud and cheering. Winters walks in. He's a big, muscular guy. Looks good. Perez walks in. He's tall, but he looks soft. The fight starts, and then Winters just obliterates him. Winters stuns Perez. The referee jumps in, gives a standing 8 count. From that point on, you could tell Perez just wanted out of the fight. Winters beats him down for about 30, 45 more seconds. Perez takes a knee. The referee jumps in, stops the fight. Big TKO win for Winters in his pro debut. What did you think?
I thought Perez looked extremely nervous. He didn't look prepared for the fight at all. And I also think Winters, he just looked phenomenal. He was just peppering Perez with body shots throughout the fight. But it was definitely over when Winters landed that right hook to finish Perez.
Yeah, and Perez, I felt bad for Perez. He actually got punched in the face, and he didn't react like a boxer. He reacted like a guy that was the first time he'd ever been punched in the face. He's just no match for Winters. It was a big win for Winters. Good way to start your pro career.
Agreed.
All right, that takes us to the second fight, which featured some light heavyweights. William Shalhoub versus Israel Echeveria. In this fight, actually, Shalhoub started out pretty good in the first round, kind of faded towards the end of the first round. Echeveria then came back and was able to drop Shalhoub at the end of the first round. The next 3 rounds after that, Echeveria, it was a close fight. I thought Echeveria won every round, a little more movement, and landed a little bit more cleaner shots. In the end, Echeveria ends up getting the unanimous decision win. All the judges had it for Echeveria, 40-35. What'd you think of this one?
I thought this was a pretty good fight. I thought Echeveria did a very good job of countering off of Shalhoub's straight punches. There weren't a lot of combinations thrown, but there were big shots, big one-punch shots, which made the fight super exciting.
How'd you think of the crowd for that fight? I thought it was pretty rowdy.
The crowd was super rowdy. There was a girl in the red dress was walking around the ring.
The one yelling, "Beat that ass."
Beat that ass!
That was so funny. That girl cracked me up. It was a fun fight.
It was.
All right, that takes us to the third fight, which was probably the fight of the night. Albert Harkins versus Harry Langhurst. Albert Harkins is 1-9 record, not impressive, but the picture that they put on the wall of him in the fighter preview, guy takes a good picture. Guy looks scary. For Langhurst, he's a military veteran. He's got a baby on the way. He's making his pro debut. Seems like a real nice guy. The fight was an back and forth war. First round, fairly even. Both guys had their moments. Second round, Langhurst gets Harkins up against the ropes. Starts getting him pretty good. It looked like the referee might be coming in and thinking about stopping the fight. And to Harkins' credit, he didn't give up. He started fighting back, and he caught Langhurst with a pretty good shot. Stunned him, and then Harkins went on the offensive, and he started unloading on Langhurst. And I actually thought the referee was going to stop it because Langhurst looked pretty hurt, but he didn't. Harkins, I think, actually just ran out of gas. I think he just got tired from throwing so many punches and let Langhurst hang around. Langhurst recovered, and then Langhurst started coming back at the end of the round. He started landing shots on Harkins again. An incredible round. Round 2 ends. The crowd gives a standing ovation. Round 3 comes out. I think Harkins looks tired. Langhurst traps him in the corner. Gets him pretty good with some shots. I know I saw a right that really rocked Harkins. And referee jumps in, stops the fight. Crowd goes crazy. Big TKO win for Langhurst in his pro debut. What did you think?
Thought Langhurst did an excellent job. He was rocked by a lot of right hooks in the second round, and it didn't even appear as though he was going to make it out of the second round. But by round 3, he just came back and just peppered Harkins with lots of combinations, and the ref stopped the fight.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good fight. I thought both guys showed a lot of heart. I know Harkins doesn't have the best record, but man, I thought he looked pretty tough in there. Ran out of gas, though. And then after the fight, Langhurst gave Probably one of the longest thank you speeches ever, but it was good. He thanked a lot of people, thanked his friends, his family. He had his little sheet that he was reading off of, but somehow he rattled off like 100 names. I don't know how they fit all those names on that little sheet of his. But he seemed like a very likable guy. He said he's got a baby on the way, and I look forward to see what's next for him. It looks like he might have a bright future.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that takes us to the next fight, which featured Ramiro Thomas versus Sam, the Russian concussion Horowitz. This fight was quick. Horowitz comes out, gets a little bit of the advantage, throws a jab. Thomas ducks under the jab. Horowitz must have known he was going to duck under, throws a vicious uppercut. Brutal. Thomas goes down. As soon as the punch lands, you know the fight's over. It was actually scary for a few moments there. Another big first round knockout win for Horowitz. What did you think?
It was brilliant. This is how a man comes back from a loss. He didn't sit around and sulk. Horowitz was back at the gym and redeemed himself last night. And he also had Chicago PD's John Cena in his corner. That was an awesome, awesome knockout.
Yeah, you're right. He lost last March in a fight that was stopped, and I know he thought it was premature, so he didn't sit around and sulk. He was back in the gym, fights again 7 weeks later, and is again back to knocking people out. It was great. All right, that takes us to the next fight, which featured two middleweights. It was Jeffrey Wright versus Nate No Problem Gallimore. It was a fight I was looking forward to. Both fighters were 2-0. I was expecting an even fight. It wasn't. Gallimore just looked awesome. Great counterpunching. He drops Wright. Wright gets up, and then Gallimore finishes him off with a really devastating 1-2. It was a big win for Gallimore. He improves to 3-0. What did you think?
Gallimore did a great job of controlling the fight with his jab, and I think because Wright was the shorter fighter, he had a harder time getting inside and really controlling the distance. He was just swinging for the fences, but Gallimore just wasn't in the distance for him to land anything huge. So on top of that, I think Gallimore could really see those big punches coming and was just able to deflect Wright. Excellent knockout, I thought, for Gallimore.
Yeah, real good. And what was up with Wright's corner? Wright's on the ground after the knockout, and they were just hanging out. Nobody went to go help him or anything. It was kind of...
That was very disappointing.
Yeah, it was really disappointing.
If I ever get knocked down in the ring, my corner better be by my side, making sure I'm all right.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the right thing to do. All right, the next fight featured Raimundo Hernandez versus local favorite Ed Bad Boy Brown. Brown looked awesome. It was a quick fight. Brown lands a left to the body, drops Hernandez. Must have been right on the liver. Hernandez couldn't get up by the count of 10. And that's it. Big win for Brown. Improves his record to 4-0. What'd you think?
Oh my gosh, the crowd was crazy for Brown.
The crowd was crazy for Brown.
I think Brown looked like a tough kid with a lot of potential. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here.
All right, that takes us to the main event, which featured Chicago's Nick Asbury versus Lyle McDowell. McDowell is a guy from Wisconsin, veteran, over 40 fights. I think he had a 28-13 record, 45 years old, southpaw. Well, he looked a little older, well past his prime. And fight went as expected. Nick Asbury pretty much dominated the fight around the third round. I think Asbury realized McDowell wasn't going to hurt him. Started really unloading big shots, and he finally landed one in the fourth round. McDowell gets hit, falls over like a tree in the forest, and hits the ground. No chance of getting up. Big win for Asbury. Improves to 8-0. It was a good fight. McDowell, even though he lost and was older, he looked pretty crafty in there, had some good defense, and didn't look so bad, but you could tell Asbury was just the better fighter and was going to win. What did you think?
McDowell took some shots, and to be honest, he looked far past his prime. I felt bad seeing him get hit.
I did too, a little bit.
I really did. And in the fourth round, he was just destroyed with a right hand.
That was a nasty right hand.
He actually fought Bermain Stavern in 2008, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he lost by TKO, unfortunately. But he's had extensive boxing experience.
Yeah, a good veteran. It was a good win for Asbury. And after the fight, they interviewed Asbury, and they said, what do you want to do next? And what I liked is he said he wants a rematch with Ricardo Chavez, who last year, the two of them had an all-out war at one of the Hitz Boxing events. So I would love to see them go at it again, because those two guys, they got a history. They fought as amateurs, and that last fight was just amazing. All right, I think any other thoughts about the Hitz Boxing event? One thing that jumps out at me is that when Hitz Boxing, when the ring girls are throwing out the t-shirts, the crowd goes crazy. It's like you'd think that they were throwing out $1 million the way people were fighting for those t-shirts. And it wasn't a sellout crowd, but it was a really good crowd. They were loud, a lot of chants, and really into the fights. We also got to see Ray Flores sing Mike Jimenez happy birthday. Birthday was just earlier this week, so it was a good event. I thought it did a great job with the show tonight.
Yeah, me too. That about wraps it up for us. Thanks for listening. For more boxing updates, check us out on Twitter at 4Boxing News. You can also check out our website at 4boxingnews.com.